Time to round up a big topic from the week. The presidents of several Central American countries will meet with President Obama and Vice President Joe Biden next week to discuss the surge of unaccompanied minors crossing the U.S. border. The meeting comes as the U.S. urges the governments of Guatemala, El Salvador, and Honduras to take steps to control the amount of children, which is something lawmakers right here in our area are trying to do. Sugar Land Republican Pete Olson has introduced legislation to give local communities a voice on the immigration overload. The proposal would force the Department of Health and Human Services to check in with state and local officials before building new detention centers. Olson says the Obama administration's failure to stem the flow doesn't mean it should become a problem for states and local communities. There have been protests across the nation, including right here in Houston, and Brazoria County is the latest community to consider a resolution to ban unaccompanied children. Ted Cruz says the best way to curb the influx is to eliminate the expansion of the president's Deferred Action Program. So is the president's policy to blame? Joining us live in the newsroom is our legal analyst, Chris Tritico, our news analyst, Mustafa Tamiz, and public policy analyst, Jackie Bally. All right, the program that Cruz is speaking of allows teens and young adults who meet certain requirements and who've been here since 2007 to stay in the country for 2 years and work legally. Do you think that policy is to blame for the current crisis?
You know, it seems if you look at everything and the way this started, that the president's announcement of the policy may have had something to do with a misconception by the part of the people in these countries that are south of Mexico, and that their kids would get to stay here. But the president's policy has nothing to do with these children. And so really, if you want to fix this problem, Jackie Bally, you have to change United States law. And the law that George Bush signed that forces the government to keep them here to ensure that they're sending them back to the right place, that's really what's causing their delay in being deported, isn't it?
I disagree with that statement only because I don't think people in Central America woke up 6 years later and said, hey, Bush signed something back in 2008, which was under a Democrat Congress.
I'm sorry, that wasn't my point, is that if you want to deport them faster, change that law now.
I think the problem that I've been stating the last couple of shows is first we have to secure the borders. When you talk to our Border Patrol agents, when you talk to even shows that are interviewing a lot of the parents or the undocumented children who are coming over, they're all saying now is the time because our current administration is not securing the border. Now is the time to come in because our current administration is saying when we do get here, we will get amnesty. And I'm very proud to see Congressman Olson, I'm proud to see our Commissioner Stacey Adams in Brazoria County, who are doing things and trying to be proactive, because the Border Patrol or border security should be our first step.
You know, I keep asking Republicans that say that all the time, secure the border. Tell me how you're going to do that. And I haven't got an answer yet. The issue is really greater than just securing the border, isn't it?
Well, the issue is that the same law or similar law that allowed Ted Cruz's parents to come here and claim asylum, the similar law passed in 2008 for Guatemala and other Central American countries. So Cuba has always had that designation that if you make it on this side of the island, you get to stay here, you get asylum. And in 2008, both houses of Republican and Democrats unanimously passed legislation that President Bush signed that allowed certain Central American countries, young people that came across, the same thing that the Cubans had.
It was really just protection from being sent back immediately, wasn't
it? The logic basically is if you flee tyranny from Castro, if you were sent back, your life was under jeopardy. These kids that are coming across in a very difficult environment, that if they went back, we sent them back. The reality is that many of them would be killed. And it's to protect life.
All right, let me go to Sally.
Sure.
You can come back to you in just a minute. Sally's monitoring our social media.
Okay, here's what some people are tweeting about in the Twitter world this morning, guys. This woman right here says, amnesty to the dreamers. Please inform yourself that the deferred action policy is not amnesty. Jenny, referring to Glenn Beck and Ted Cruz's trip to the border yesterday, says, Glenn Beck asked the Border Patrol chief, can Texas secure the border? Answer in short, no. Too much D.C. influence. And then Jose says, Ted Cruz's top priority is ending deferred action. That'll help with the Latino vote in 2016.
Well, I don't know if it's going to help with the Latino vote. It's probably going to hurt. I think that was probably
I think he was being a little sarcastic there, yeah.
And I don't think we have time to get into the politics of that right now. Okay. I want to talk about Pete Olson's thing for a minute. I haven't read the bill yet, of course, because he just filed it, but the idea that we have to check with local authorities for the United States government can build a detention center, what then are we going to do with these kids who are already here? What does Pete say about that?
That's been the main question everybody's been saying.
Well, we have the kids here now.
Hence why, and the kids are coming over 50,000 is the number that we're seeing. And I'm going to answer both questions. First, you said you're asking Republicans. As a Republican, I will tell you, the billion-dollar policy that the president has outlined, most of those dollars are going towards judges to grant amnesty. Those dollars should go for resources to secure the border. We are seeing documentation where people are literally just walking in and coming through.
Real quick, didn't the president's plan call for more Border Patrol agents as well?
Very minimal, very minimal.
Okay.
We're saying we want more because it's not being secured. The second question to Pete's answer, if we don't secure the border, we're going to continue to see, we have 50,000 already, and it's just half of the year.
Okay, we're almost out of time. Pete Olson's bill, and if the Republicans want to do something, why did the House just pass a bill?
It's all about Republican primaries. The reason why Ted Cruz is going there with Glenn Beck, he wants to get more votes in the Republican primary. The reason why Pete Olson is doing the same thing is to get more support from Republicans. What they're not realizing, they're getting more and more endangered in the general election because people are looking at this bill and these are racist actions.
All right, we're going to leave it right there. Sally, we'll be back in the next hour with two really good stories.
All right, we'll see you guys then. Thanks so much.